I can't wait to use my headphones again. It sounds so quality sounds so much better. Anyway, how's it going, everyone? Wayne the Known here, and welcome back to another episode of Geeking Out, where we basically discuss everything nerd and geek related. I'm joined here by Bob Greenwade, as you've seen him multiple times on this series of my channel. This time, Bob is going to be talking about how he got into anime, from some of his first anime to some of his favorite characters, and yeah. So to begin, how long do you remember what got you into anime, and what was your first anime, Bob?
Um, Anime, let's see, that's kind of a slow process. It was hard to say the process of how I got into it. There were a couple that my wife and best friend liked to watch on the cable channels back in the day, um, which were Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z. They loved those two shows. Even before that, I liked well, anything with the giant robots. Uh, not just Transformers, but there was oh,
Gundam?
Voltron.
Oh, Voltron. Oh
Voltron.
yeah, I recently learned from Joel when I did his that Voltron is an anime. I did not know that.
It originally was an anime. I think even the original 3D computer animated Redux was considered an anime. Um, Technically, Transformers even is an anime because it was originally done by Japanese animators, the Japanese style,
I did not know
where
that either.
where they um, did the animation first and then added the voices.
Hmm.
So that is what the Japanese style of doing that is. So the Japanese voice actors have the same challenges as the English language voice actors and the other languages as well.
Oh yeah, no, because it's trying to match your voice with the mouth movements too.
Yes,
Um,
exactly. That's how they do it in Japan. Um, Possibly because they just got used to doing it that way with English language cartoons that went over to Japan. Um, but yeah, on in Transformers. As far as more recently, I hadn't watched any anime shows since well before my wife and friend passed, until like I think early last year, early 2022, where I was just I'd been going through streaming services and watching shows that interested me, and it started to run out. And I said, okay, what the heck? I'll give a try to Sailor Moon, since that's a fairly popular one.
it's the original Sailor Moon from the 90s, or the Sailor Moon reboot called Sailor Moon Crystal.
The is the original one. I haven't checked out the Redux yet,
Okay.
but I managed to watch that on Hulu as far as they went in through the dubs, which as of a little earlier this
Oh
year is
yeah,
all
the
the way
uh
through to
the
the
uh the,
end.
the Funimation dub
Yeah,
where they redid the voices like in the mid 2000s or something, yeah.
yeah. So I got the Funimation version. I think it's the Funimation version, but it's the ones
It,
on
it it's
Hulu.
it's with the 90s, and it's the original 90s, but instead of like the
Mhm.
original English dub, it's the Funimation dub.
Yeah, so that's the with Stephanie Shea voicing Sailor Moon.
Yep, that is the yeah.
Yeah, that's she's one of a very few anime voice actors who I can name, and the as I'll probably discuss later, the only one, the first one that went on my I'd love to meet list.
Hmm.
Um, but then of course I've got also with other things like Naruto, Hunter x Hunter, Demon Hunter, um, Bleach, and so forth.
Naruto, Bleach. I'm actually doing the smart thing this time by writing down the anime you talk about. And Hunter.
Hunter x Hunter, which is
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, for the longest time, I thought that X was like that's what the name was, like Spy X Family, Hunter X Hunter. And then I was just like, oh, the X, just pretend the X is not there. It's just Spy Family, Hunter Hunter. It's like, okay, good to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I tell you, that took me a while to kind of wrap my mind around, but the X's form the function of space, basically.
The more you know.
Hmm.
So you started back watching anime, what the
I can put that into the 70s or 80s as far as the very first.
yeah, I mean, I know Pokemon and DBZ. I know DBZ came out around the late 80s, early 90s. Pokemon's was late 90s, early 2000s, and Voltron was around the 80s too.
Yeah, Voltron, and you can count. I think I would say Voltron is probably um, my first actual anime that I liked. Um, I've managed to watch a little bit of. Oh, now I can't. The names popped right out of my head. Had a huge starship and had the guys on motorcycles, and I'll probably will remember it about halfway through, or else about 15 minutes
The only
after we
thing I can
finish.
think of motorcycles is Akira.
No, it's not it. So, um, I'm gonna,
I mean, I'm not familiar with a whole lot of anime, old and new. Like, the one thing I've noticed about doing this segment is I've heard a lot of different anime I've never seen or never heard of. It's like, okay, that's interesting.
yeah, these interviews are a good way to find out about them, because there's like dozens and dozens and dozens. I watched the ones that look like they'd be interesting and are on streaming services that I can put on the television.
And also, potential future cosplays as well.
Oh yeah, so um, there's a I kind of keep my eye out for anything with the covered eye, and we can discuss that a little later too.
Oh yeah, no. So you've been watching anime for quite some time. You stopped for a while, and then recently you got back into anime.
Yeah.
What was it like getting back into anime after so long?
Um, I haven't done a whole lot. This is like a whole new experience, because I watched them basically, um, previously watched them basically as the same as I would Western animation, same way as I would if it was American. It was just another cartoon, but here I'm looking at them through kind of a new eyes, so to speak, or a new eye. Um, and so this is just like I am now looking at these as their own thing that is different from um, the like Superman and Avengers cartoons.
Yeah, it's a lot different. I mean, you can definitely tell with Japanese animations 'cause that's what it is. The art style is slightly different compared to American
Yeah,
animation.
well, the art style and the what I just mentioned about the animation style, about the animation going before the voice. Um, and then there's also this a lot of the storytelling style, which is linear, goes from beginning to end, as opposed to the Western, which is circular. It just kind of keeps cycling through, and they kind of keep going for with the same character and try to make it go on forever.
That's an understatement. And you got to admit, and this is no disrespect to anime, there are some animes that have filler episodes like has nothing to do with the main plot. It's just there to fill in the season.
There is a reason for those, because a lot of anime, in fact, the majority of anime are adaptations from manga, and they're following the same story as the manga, but they don't want to get ahead of it. So they put in extra episodes or even completely extra um, story arcs in order to not get ahead. Full Metal Alchemist kind of ran afoul of that, because they got the first adaptation kind of got to where the manga was, and they couldn't know how to proceed, so they went and finished it. Used their own guess, and that ended up being wrong, of course. And so they went back and did Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood,
Mhm.
which
It's more
followed the
faithful to
all the
manga.
way to the end correctly.
And
Yeah.
I feel like some filler episodes, like especially if it's based off a manga, weren't in the manga. They put it in there's like, yeah, we want, we want to just lengthen this one season a little bit more. That's why we get, your beach episodes, your party, your, whatever episodes.
There were a few Beach ones like that, but at the same time, one of my favorite story arcs on Bleach was a filler. It did not occur in the manga.
Hmm. What was your favorite filler episode from Bleach?
My filler, well, this story arc I'm talking about is the Zanpakuto Rebellion,
Hmm.
um, and the following Sword Beast, a story arc, which had what is probably my favorite episode with which centered on Mangekyo Matsumoto's Zanpakuto Hanako.
Sword Beast Arc Bleach. I'm looking at pictures actually right now. Um, so this is like, yeah, this is, I'll show a picture, you can tell me. So this is from the Sword Beast arc. This is a picture from it.
Um, that looks somewhat like it could be something on there. I tend to focus on the pictures. That is the only time, save for one tiny cameo, where Zanpakuto, um, other than Ichigo's, um, actually had an appearance.
Yeah, like it's like another I'm looking up is also like on there. They call it the Toju campaign.
The Tojo campaign, yeah. So
Yeah, I'm not like, and I'll admit this, I never got that far in Bleach at all.
okay, yeah.
It's just one of those animes like I watched a few episodes here and there. I watched the live action movie, which
I have not yet.
it was or still is on Netflix. I do not quote me
It
on that.
is.
I did
It's. I have it on both Netflix and Hulu.
so yeah, I mean the live action one's on there, which is like basically the Bleach live action covers like I think like the first few episodes of season one.
Yeah. So um, and of course I don't know if how well I haven't seen, I haven't seen that, so I'm not going to comment on that, but I know that what a fight that can take um, um, 15 minutes in a live action production takes 15 episodes in an
I was
anime.
gonna say a good example of a good example. I don't know what it is. Dragon Ball Z comes to mind when I think of long fights or powering up. It's like, you know, Goku starts this Kame, and then 5 episodes later Hame, 5 episodes later Ha, or he powers up. It's like it's weird how fights in an anime can take up to like 5, 10, like 5, 5, 6 episodes.
And it works
Oh
too.
no, it
So
works. It works
yeah,
because who wants to see like a 5 minute fight? Like, what can seem like a 30-minute fight could take like, a couple episodes compared to like, you know,
yeah. Well, the whole back half of uh, Naruto Shippuden is one big battle.
yeah. That's another anime I've like I remember watching like the early episodes of season one of Shippuden during the village hidden in the sand
Hmm.
when Gar gets kidnapped, and that whole fight takes like at least that whole like segment right there takes at least 3 to 4 episodes right there.
Right. So that's and with the way they do it, it mostly works.
Oh yeah,
I
no.
sometimes wonder about how they'll stop fighting and have a conversation about, oh, this is a pretty cool attack of yours.
Oh
Oh, thanks.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They'll fight, they'll do some monologue, they'll fight more. Someone dies, more monologue, more fighting. Again, this is no disrespect against anime of any
Yeah,
source.
it sometimes that part sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but they actually you get used to that particular rhythm of how anime works, and it's there.
Oh no, it works. Like in Western animation, it's completely different. Like,
Yeah.
for example, Thundercats. You know,
Mhm.
like it doesn't take them 5 episodes to do fighting. Like they do the fighting in the one episode, and then they go on to the next episode.
Yeah, the whole stories take up one episode. It's kind of like the um uh uh golden and silver age comics, Western comics, where they had to have the entire story in one issue.
Mm-hmm.
The reason there being because they couldn't be sure that people were going to have access to more than one issue in a row. The stores that sold them were kind of iffy about having every issue, so every story had to be self-contained.
Oh yeah,
um,
no.
in in the United States, the cartoons have the kind of the same philosophy. You can't be sure that somebody's going to be able to tune in every week in a row.
Just
And
to
it
keep
wasn't
it.
until like the mid '80s that I saw my first um, Western cartoon, American cartoon, that had an ongoing plot from episode to episode.
Really, I mean, like, yeah, no. I guess what is your favorite? Because you mentioned about arc. Do you have any other arcs from different animes that you like?
Um, let's see, that one from Bleach. Trying to make my way through in my mind. Let's see. I think this most recent one from the anime One Piece, rescuing Nico Robin, is one that is I find very compelling
I think
and
actually,
interesting.
I think I could show like a clip of it without the sound. I think I can get away with I can get away with the sound of a video without the sound.
Yeah, for on that one. So yeah, this we have that's the last one that I've seen because that's the most recent one that I found, the one with the English dub, the most recent one that Netflix has.
Oh yeah, because yeah, that's right. Because Netflix not only did well, I mean, they have what episodes they can have on Netflix. They have also One Piece on Hulu, which I think is up to date. I could be wrong. And then
I'll go.
Netflix,
Yeah,
and then
I
Netflix
can
just
I can go
recently
check
released.
on that because this is that is a very very fun anime.
It's like it's been running since the early 2000s. It's like past 1,000 episodes at this point. It's like it's one of the few longest running anime that's been going on for over 20 years, and they just recently released the live action. Um, they just recently released the live action one that's based off the East Blue arc from season one.
Yeah, that kind of covers that whole thing, and this is a good example that made me think of what I said earlier about how long anime fights last, because they're taking entire mini arcs for each of the
Mhm.
characters that took like 10 to 20 episodes to cover on the anime, and they're doing it in 1 or 2 episodes in the live action.
Yeah, I mean, like for example, from what I've seen, I'm not gonna do much spoilers, but from what I've seen, like what like how like one particular part, like when, for example, they meet this one character in the anime, which takes like 4 to 5 episodes, but in the live action one, you're watching all those episodes in one episode.
Yeah, all that stuff because they cut out unneeded things, and they did a lot
Well,
of
but this one is adapted from the manga, not the anime,
I think so.
and it's got
And
and it's
I
got
I've watched it through the live action One Piece. I watched it through twice now, and I'm good for watching it a third time. It true to the
it's the high it's one of the it's one of like quote one of few highest rated and most watched shows on Netflix.
Yeah, and for good reason. It is, it's a lot
It's
of fun. It keeps to the spirit, that the same spirit, the same follow your dreams optimism that
and
made the anime a hit.
not to mention Oda, the creator of the manga. gave his seal of approval. You can like there if you find it online, you can find a picture of him putting the straw hat on the actor who's playing as Luffy, and also
Yeah,
the original Japanese voice actor. She even gave her seal of approval for what's his name to play as Luffy.
Inaki Godoy.
Yeah, him.
He had previously last year been on another show called The Imperfects, which after watching this performance of his, I went and watched again. Um, has one of my favorite quotes in the final episode, but he does an outstanding job in that. And this is a very different character that he played on that show than in this one.
Oh yeah, no, I
Um,
agree. I think they
and
casted. Go ahead, sorry.
I think he is brilliant on that. Emily Rudd, whom I keep thinking I've seen before, but I haven't, is wonderful as Nami.
Oh yeah, no, they did. It's not. I feel like some people, a lot I've seen recently. I'm not making fun of them. How they say, oh, how they're basing these characters on looks. Like, oh, this character's hot. This character's this. This character's that. This actor, it's like looks don't really have to do with everything. It's how they perform is what should
Mhm.
really matter, not how they look, but how they perform. If they look great, great. If they don't, that doesn't matter. If they perform well, you know, then I think
Yeah,
that's what really matters is how they perform as the character itself. Because you're talking about an anime that has a lot of quirky, weird, bizarre, what the stuff.
and the show. That's another thing I wanted to mention. I also wanted to mention Jeff Ward as
As
Buggy
Buggy
the
the
Clown,
Clown.
who
Oh.
with Jeff we had previously seen on Marvel's Agents of Shield.
Hey, so he's kind of familiar playing in some like nerdy stuff then.
Yeah, so I had seen him before, and did a nice job as Zeke on or Deke rather on Agents of Shield. Um, but as far as the production, they fully embrace the absurdity of this anime world.
Oh yeah,
You can
no.
see it in Zoro still has green hair. Um, there's everybody else. Anybody else can have whatever color hair they have in the anime, and nobody bats an eye, and it's not dyed or anything. So it may be dyed in the production, but in the setting, it's not dyed. And then you can see some of the more outlandish costume choices.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no.
you saw at the end where the chef had his hat that was like 2 feet high
And
on his head.
but of course in the live action, when it comes to live action and anime, and I kind of talked about this prior, you really got to think realistic because you see it in
Yeah.
the anime. It's like, yeah, we can't do that, so we have to find a way to make it look like that, but not exactly like that.
And that kind of going out the window with this one.
Oh,
Uh,
oh yeah.
with that hat was really kind of that stood out to me,
Oh yeah.
especially. But
Zeph. Fun fact about the guy who plays as Zeph. He is the voice. He voiced Ghost in the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare games.
um,
When I saw a clip of his, like, why does that voice sound familiar?
who are you talking about?
Zeph the chef who has like the long
Okay,
mustache. His
okay,
act.
yeah.
I can't remember his actor, but
I have the page on this up. I'm looking for it here. Uh,
yeah, here's what like. So here is Zeph from, and I'll be showing a bigger picture. Here's like
yeah,
that's like a 3 foot hat or something. That's a big
yeah.
hat.
Yeah. It was only 2 feet in the show, and he only wore it once for the one scene.
And then I'll be showing a picture of and I'll be showing a picture of oh wait, here's a bit right no, but yeah, like in the show and like the live action, yeah, it's 2 feet compared to like the 4 foot one.
Yeah,
But I still like they embodied they I think they still did a good job embodying, you know.
he caught the spirit of the character. Every single actor on there has caught the spirit of the character that they're portraying.
Yeah, no, I think they did a really good job. And some people are comparing Zeph to Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, I kind of had that same thought watching that. Didn't think about it at when I saw him on the anime, but watching this live action, I thought, yeah, it's a little bit.
Blonde, angry British chef. Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know who Zeph is really based off of. Again, I haven't seen much of One Piece. I watched a bit here and there of the original for kids version,
There we go.
but
Craig Fairbrass is the actor's
yeah,
name.
he is the voice of Ghost from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, for those who aren't familiar with him. Not the original not the remaster, not the reboot series, but the original that came out for the Xbox 360 like 100 years ago. Um, so you're familiar, I don't know who the artist is. Oh yeah, Pen this I'm gonna give him credit for this. The artist's name who made this. Oh God, what? Yeah, artist is Panakawa, and so you're familiar with that meme of Gordon Ramsay putting this bread two pieces of bread between the chef's head and said, "What are you?" And she says, "An idiot sandwich."
Um, I I think I may have encountered it at some
Oh, I'll do
point.
a comparison, but there's this one. Someone drew the artist's name is Panakawa. I could be really butchering that name, but someone recreated that meme with Zeph and Sanji, and the chef says, "What are you?" And Sanji goes, "An eggplant sandwich." Oh man, getting a little off topic here. Have you watched? So going down now. Have you watched any newer anime, like anime from like the 2020s?
Um, it's hard to say what the original settings were. I am going to call up my PC app for Netflix and see what is in my list. I know I have because One Piece is
Oh yeah,
ongoing.
One Piece is ongoing. Yeah, I think
Um,
that's like a 20-year-old anime.
yeah, DOTA Dragon's Blood.
Yeah, I've heard I keep on hearing about Dota, but I've never like watched it.
Yes, that one is kind of on there. Let's see.
I'm looking it up right
Um,
now. Oh yeah,
very
it's from
interesting.
2021. So yeah, I consider that. Yeah, Dota. Okay,
Um, Dragon Prince: The Mystery of Aravos.
is that anime?
I think that qualifies. It looks like it has the style. Whoops, accidentally closed the app.
Dragon Parents animated series. I feel like let me I don't know because I know there are some anime that has been released in the US.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
There is a debate as to whether Miraculous: The Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir counts as anime.
The animation with Dragon Prince is lovely. It is done in the anime style.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
That
well,
is theirs.
uh,
Miraculous also is done in the anime style. And it is one of my favorites. It's just they just dropped their fifth season. Um, there's one called High Rise Invasion that had like one season, and I wish they would keep going.
High Rise Invasion. I'm looking that up.
Yeah, that one was that one was pretty interesting.
Oh, okay. I've heard of this. I haven't watched it, but it was like one season. You can watch it on Netflix. I
Yeah,
like his mask. That's pretty cool.
Netflix is, by
Oh,
the way, is
I have heard of yeah, I have heard of this one. I've seen clips for it on TikTok and I saw it on Netflix. I've never watched it though.
oh, and there's the CGI update of Ultraman, which
Oh
had three
yeah.
seasons.
Yeah, I heard about the Ultraman one. Dota Dragon's Blood. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I recognize. Yeah, Yuri Lowenthal. He's known for yeah. Based on Dota 2. Oh, that's right. It's a RTS game
Yeah, based on Dota.
by Valve. Of course it has, of course Valve's name is mentioned. I don't know
Uh,
why I see that name and automatically think of like, okay. Yeah, directed by Park So Young. Season one was by Kim Yui Jong, Hong Soo Woo, Han Shung Il, Kim Soo Min, and Mio Del Rosario. Art director is Kim Il Kwon. All right.
yeah, a lot of Korean
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds
names
like a
on that, which
Korean.
I
It
see a
sounds,
lot of Korean names in Japanese shows
yeah, I
too,
mean,
anyway.
a good example of like it's in anime, but it's like made in a different country. A good example would be Heaven's Official Blessing, which is a Chinese anime.
Okay.
And
Um,
and I think people need to realize that yeah, Japan is known for anime, but also like here in the States, there has been some Americanized anime. I think a good example would be Symbiotic Titan and Samurai Jack, which I kind of consider an
yeah.
anime, and it's in a way I consider it anime.
Samurai Jack, yeah. So, um, title character voiced by the great and slightly insane Phil Lamar.
No, it's
Uh,
freaking yeah.
as I Demon Slayer on a previous episode, I mentioned the Seven Deadly Sins.
Oh yeah, Demon
Um,
Slayer and Seven Deadly. Yeah, I remember watching when I saw Seven Deadly Sins on Netflix. Like, what is this? I like it. Am I gonna finish it? Probably not.
I did finish it, and I incidentally still consider um, Merlin's costume to be a brain melter.
Oh, Merlin? Yeah.
Yeah. For those who are not familiar, and I don't know if Wayne will show the picture, but Merlin is a woman who is very curvaceous and
I think I can
has the
sh
wet center of her chest completely bare.
I think I can show her her the outfit she wears when she's working at Maliotis's bar. I
Yeah. So
think that one I think I can find a picture that's not like risque like what Merlin is.
yeah, that's
I'm gonna see if I can't find one.
yeah.
Uh,
And then there's let's see, another one that's kind of let's see. Oh, Sword Art Online.
Online, yeah. I mean, I did find a picture of her that doesn't show anything revealing, so I can't show a picture of Merlin.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah,
Sword.
heroes. Okay. So like yeah, here's like example of Merlin that's not like super risque. It's just their top half.
Yeah. So that gap that you see at the top of her chest there goes all the way down.
Oh yeah, I've seen
I, yeah, that well, I'm explaining that for the viewers
oh
here.
yeah,
So
Sword Art Online. Yeah,
Sword
no.
Art Online, um, which I probably should rewatch that on Netflix here, is also on Hulu, but they split up the three story arcs to that.
That's what they did on Netflix.
Yeah,
Because there's like on Netflix, it says I think it's Netflix or Hulu, I can't remember. It's the Mugen Train arc, which is also from the movie too.
yeah. So,
Which is just the entire arc in one movie.
but the very end of Sword Art Online is one of the more interesting um endings that I have ever seen.
Hmm.
It's just the last 5 minutes of the last episode. It
And
makes it
that
interesting.
and speaking of that series has had a spin-off
I remember seeing something about that.
where like the main character has like a sniper rifle or something.
Yeah, a movie or something. Uh, Another Borderline case, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
And that's
Um,
not the first time JoJo has been mentioned on this channel in general.
I,
Like
I don't doubt that, but I kind of watched it and then I got a little tired of it. And there's
well,
to see,
I mean, JoJo's been out technically since the 90s.
yeah, see, there's Voltron. Oh, of course. There's also um, The Last Airbender and The Legend of
I,
Korra.
you know what? I consider that anime. That's American anime, in my opinion.
Yes,
Just like
that's what it is generally considered.
just like for an example, another example of like American anime is the Boondocks, which, if you think about it, both have the same art style.
Yeah, so they're counted as anime. They're accepted as anime by Japanese. So, but the Legend of Korra, I do have a cosplay in mind to do from that. Zuko becomes Fire Lord,
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I
and
haven't. Nice.
and he has one of the more interesting hairstyles. But
Mm.
um,
So,
let's see.
oh, you're still looking at.
Uh,
You got a
yeah,
long. You're making
I'm
me
still
look at all
looking
these
at.
anime,
I have a
Bob.
very long list, and not all of it has to do.
At least one more because I want to kind of
Yeah, I
move,
have
move.
the also the Knights of the Zodiac CGI series.
Okay, nice.
Knights of the Zodiac Saint Seiya,
All right.
which has another cosplay I'd like to do with Vandergraad.
I'll look him up. So moving on now.
Yeah, that I think that
Your
mostly
who are like
covers
your
it all.
top five characters?
Top five characters overall.
Yeah, like they're like your favorites.
Mm, my favorite anime characters overall. Um, well, let's see. I get it. Over at My Hero Academia. This is in like in no particular order. Over at My Hero Academia, I do get a kick out of Eraserhead. Um, I think is I might sometime take him and Zoot to both to a convention and kind of lean into my sleeping disorder. Because those are two guys that can fall asleep anywhere. And of course he um right up into um the big fight against the Liberation Front. He's really a kind of a source of both um intelligent instruction and comic relief.
Nice.
Especially considering his best friend is um oh, what is it, Static Mike? um I can't remember the guy's name, but
Uh,
Eraserhead's one of two MHA characters that I want to cosplay, the other being Kamui Woods.
I think you're. Oh, Present Mike is a character you're
Present
thinking of.
Mike, that's what I just slipped my mind. I have um memory like a goldfish.
Oh, Shoto. Oh, when he said Eraser, he's like, "Who is that?" And then it's like, when he's just sleeping, it's like, "Oh, you're talking about Aizawa."
Yeah, Aizawa.
I didn't know you cosplayed as Aizawa.
I haven't yet. I don't have any anime cosplays. Um, the first one I'm working on, I have my eye on it, and I'm going to see if I can. I might. There is a non-zero possibility I could have this in for this year's Komori Con, but it's not likely. But may have to wait till next year. But excuse me, I have to go move my. I have to move my browser so I can get these names right. Okay. Kakashi Hatake from Naruto.
Oh, okay, he's another one of your favorites.
He is another one of my favorites.
Kakashi Sensei. He's. Oh yeah, no, I can see you cosplay as Kakashi as well.
Yeah, because of the eye thing.
Oh yeah,
Um, um, my favorite character over on One Piece is Nico Robin.
nice.
Um, and just um, they've got. I think going back to Emily Rudd, she's done a wonderful job portraying um, Nami.
I'm kind of curious in the later on if they make a season two or if they keep on making season two, they're going to cast as Nico Robin.
Yeah, because season two will be a good time to introduce Chopper and Nico Robin.
Oh yeah, I remember watching a clip how Jamie Lee Curtis was saying in an interview how she would love to play as Chopper's that old woman that Chopper lives with. I can't
Oh,
remember
okay, yeah, I
I
know
can't
who
remember the name.
Yeah, so on Bleach, I it rather surprisingly my favorite is Rangiku Matsumoto.
Oh.
Um, and it's not because she has this knockout figure, which is brought to the attention is brought to it like about twice a season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But what really pissed
Oh,
me
I know
about,
who you're talking about.
yeah, um,
Uh,
yeah, there's a gag in season one where her captain walks in on her suddenly, and she starts and says, I could have fallen out of my I could have fallen out of my robe. And he says, somehow I think that wouldn't have bothered you much. But
uh,
her, what strikes me about her is both her kind of mischievous playfulness that comes into play every
her
so often.
captain, Captain Toshiro Hitsugaya.
Toshiro, yeah. So they're an interest. They're probably, to me at least, the most interesting captain lieutenant pair on the show.
Oh yeah, I remember one of the episodes where they went to this office building or something, and the lady at the front desk mistook Hitsugaya as a kid because he's literally the size of a child.
Everybody in the world of the living mistakes him for a kid.
He looks
Thinks
like a
he's about
child.
10. I'm not a child. So which is
You're short enough to be a child. You and Edward Elric.
yeah, my yeah, and my late wife too. So um so who is 4 foot
We
8. So
got Eraserhead, Kakashi Hatake, or Kakashi Sensei, Niku Robin, and Rangiku. Who was their last one?
the last one on my list, it is hard really to nail down favorites everywhere. Um but I think the only one where my favorite is the title character is Naruto.
Nice. Any
Because
particular reason on the main protagonist from Naruto?
um, it's kind of the same reason that has been everybody else on the show has said. It's like everybody mistreats him, and yet he still keeps a positive attitude. He looks for the best in even his enemies. Um, that, and that last part is something that I think we should all strive for in real life.
I completely agree.
And he just goes forward and fights the best he can, and is just a general inspiration to everybody around him.
I know I completely agree. Which actually brings me um to a question I always ask towards the end of this. Um, what kind of impact has anime had on your life?
um as a whole, not a lot, but individual shows have kind of captured my imagination, and individual characters have inspired me. Like Naruto, his tendency to look for the best in everybody, to try and support, to try and win over even his enemies. I don't think he's the only character that's been mentioned so far that does that. He's the only one who's been that has been said explicitly. Um, and of course, I find more um, more characters for cosplaying one-eyed than on in anime than I do in Western productions. Actually, I think it's now I think about it, it's about even.
Nice.
Um, but I do find some of the characters and the things. Well, I go back to the Imperfects. That favorite line that I mentioned that Iñaki Godoy gets to say as his character. Um, it's not what a hero. It's not what one does that makes one a hero. It's what one overcomes. It's what you overcome. And so that's kind of an encouragement to everybody to just kind of um, keep going forward and keep pursuing what you love and pursuing your dreams.
That's some really sound advice. I'm gonna be honest, it's really good sound advice.
Yeah. So,
Last but not least, it's the kind of question I usually like ask in cosplay con talk. And I think I asked it once. What sort of advice would you want to give to someone who's considering on wanting to watched anime for the first time,
Um,
or later down the or later down the
or
road?
later down the road, or somebody who's wanting to get started with it. Watch what you like. Just find what looks like it'd be interesting. Um, don't make any assumptions about it. Just get in and enjoy it. If you listen to what people are saying about a particular anime, it's um, it's not going to be that much different from our Western cartoons, in other than what we've already discussed about things like story arcs taking 40
Why
episodes.
are you taking long to power up? And why does it take you 20? Why does it take you 100 episodes to power up? Come
Yeah,
on.
so yeah, the you know the the fights, then it takes 15. A fight that takes 10 minutes in live action can take 10 episodes in an anime, um but every minute of it is still compelling. There are differences in storytelling style, um that has already been mentioned here, but don't assume that um, don't assume that it's going to be like beyond you. I would say look for ones that have been dubbed from beginning to end. You may not necessarily want to like read the dialogue as the action is going on. I work with both. I have both the dubbed audio and the subtitles going at the same time, just because that's how my brain works. I do that with everything. But um, there are a lot of fun characters. There's a lot of fun to do. There are some that have fairly small casts. There are some that have huge casts of characters. Naruto and Bleach have both been criticized for having the huge groups of characters. I think My Hero Academia might have as well. I haven't seen about that, but for me, those are pluses, not minuses. Those are world building.
I
Um,
agree. Those are world building.
but like I said, just just watch what looks like it'd be fun and interesting. The most popular ones are good ways to break into it. Full
No,
Metal Alchemist,
I,
Pokemon,
it,
Sailor Moon.
what, like basically like a starter anime in a
Yeah,
sense.
those are good ones to go on. The ones that have been most popular in the United States. Um, I think Pokemon's been going on. You talked about One Piece has been going on for 20 years. I think Pokemon's been more like 30, maybe
Mm,
40.
ugh. I mean, I know Pokemon's been going on since like the 90s, late
Yeah,
90s.
so
So, 20 plus years.
yeah, so it's been going on a very long time, and um, I think that is one where you might not necessarily need to start from the beginning, but that wouldn't hurt.
No.
And if you're feeling like just binging on an anime and no windows in sight, you can go with that or Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, no, that's another good one. I think that should do it. One more thing, as you always ask at the end of these. Um, where can people find you on social media if they want to stay up
Oh,
to date with?
before we do, I would like to make one more shout out to Bleach.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, the that that show has some of the most interesting open and closing theme songs, which is another thing that anime does differently from Western animation. Western animation, you get a theme song that goes from the beginning of the series until it's canceled. But Japanese anime, they'll go with one for a couple dozen episodes, and then it'll change, and it'll kind of change according to the mood of whatever's going on in the show. One exception, the most notable exception being Sailor Moon, which ran the same opening theme, Moonlight Densetsu, for almost its entire run. But Bleach gave me two of what I think are the most interesting anime themes ever. One is the opening theme. I'm going to go over here and find it here. Make sure I get these said right. An opening theme used episodes 215 to 242, so it lasted a while. Shoujo S by Scandal. Had not only is it a very cool sounding song, I've read through the lyrics, and it is an interesting little mental emotional journey within it, and the animation that is used has this nice choreographed dance with Rukio and Orihime, with a little bit of Ragiku, but it kind of has this 70s spy theme
Ooh,
feel to
kind of
it.
like James Bond.
A little bit of a James Bond look to it,
Ooh.
against Shoujo S by Scandal. And it is one of the best opening sequences of the series. For the closing theme, I wish these had been done like in the same period, but they're separated so much. And Happy People by Scoop on Somebody was used early on, episodes 39 to 52, which for me was far too short. This, if I get to go back to doing my my own music act, is one that I would like to cover, playing on flute. It is this nice little kind of funky acoustic thing. The animation to it is not especially remarkable, but still the music is just wonderful.
Nice. I'll definitely have to. I'll have to listen to those myself. Again, I don't know if I can put them on here and show them, but I'll definitely, for those who are watching this, highly recommend. If you haven't, highly recommend checking those out. Last but not least, where can people find you? Oh, yes.
No, I'm saying yes. Go ahead.
Oh,
Finish the question. Finish the question.
Words. Where can people find you on social media if they want to stay up to date with your theater stuff, your cosplay stuff, or just your general shenanigans?
Well, they can easily find me on Pinterest. That has a lot of my cosplay stuff, as well as, both things I have done, things that I'm planning, and a lot of other insanity. Can find me at on Twitter, where I put general insanity and political musings and stuff. Find me on Instagram, where I post very infrequently, but primarily cosplay related items. All of those are under just my name, Bob Greenwade, one word.
Nice. And links to all those. Sorry, I'm just making sure I got all the names down of the anime and the characters we talked about. I just wanted to make sure so I can get that work done and get it up for when the schedule is ready for it this week. I think that should do it. Again, you all know where to find me. Links below in the description. Be sure to check out my my Instagram, the store, and all that fun stuff. Again, Bob, thank you for coming on to talk about how you got into anime and all that fun stuff. As always, I am Wayne the Unknown. Until next time, thank you for listening, and as always, thank you for watching.